Ready to enjoy learning English? Little English.
Episode 14.
I am a little teapot.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out.
Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. And when she was very little, for her birthday, her mother made her a lovely red hood. And the little girl loved the hood, and she wore it everywhere she went. And that is why everybody called her Little Red Riding Hood. Well, one day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said to her, "Little Red Riding Hood, your grandmamma is very ill. So I've made you this lovely big basket with honey and milk and fruit. And I want you to take this and I want you to go as quickly as you can to Grandmamma's house and give her the basket. But you have to go through the forest. It's quite dark and quite scary, so you mustn't talk to anybody you don't know." So, with that, Little Red Riding Hood took the basket and off she went to Grandmamma's house. La 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 la. She was in the forest and it was very dark and very scary. So, Little Red Riding Hood decided to get through the forest as quickly as she could. She ran and ran and ran through the forest until she came to a point where the road split into two. "I don't know which way to go," she said. And who should come along but a big bad wolf with big teeth. "Where are you going, Little Red Riding Hood?" said the wolf. "I'm going to Grandmamma's house," said Red Riding Hood. "But I don't know which way to go. Which way's quickest, Mr. Wolf?" "Well," said Mr. Wolf, "I think you should go that way. That's the quickest." "Thank you, Mr. Wolf," said Little Red Riding Hood, and off she ran as quickly as she could to Grandmamma's house. But the wolf was very naughty, and he had told Little Red Riding Hood a lie. A lie is when you don't tell the truth. It's a very naughty thing to do, so don't do it. The quickest way was that way, and that way is where the wolf went, as quickly as he could, to Grandmamma's house. He got to the house, and he knocked on the door. Pop, 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 pop. "Who is it?" said Grandmamma, and the wolf changed his voice to sound like Little Red Riding Hood. "Hello, Grandmamma, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood." So Grandmamma opened the door, and it was the wolf. "Arr," said the wolf, and Grandmamma ran around the house. "Oh no, it's a wolf, it's a wolf. I'm going to eat you," said the wolf. And Grandmamma, quick as a flash, jumped inside the wardrobe and closed the door and locked the door with the key. And she hid. And the wolf was very angry. And he knocked on the door and he said, "Grandmamma, open the door, I want to eat you." "No, go away," said Grandmamma. But then, out the window, the wolf could see Little Red Riding Hood coming along. La 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 la. So, as quick as he could, he put on Grandmamma's clothes and hid in the bed and covered his face with the covers. Before long, he heard a knock on the door. "Who is it?" said the wolf. "It's me, it's Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, well, you'll have to open the door because I'm very ill and I'm in bed." So, Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and she peered through the house to the bed where she could see her Grandmamma. That didn't look like Grandmamma. So she asked, "Grandmamma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, Little Red Riding Hood." And Little Red Riding Hood was very confused. And she said, "Grandmamma, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf. And then Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandmamma, what a big nose you have." "All the better to smell you with, Little Red Riding Hood." But there was one thing that didn't make sense. And Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandmamma, what big teeth you have." "All the better to eat you with, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf, and he jumped out of bed and ran towards Little Red Riding Hood, and she ran round the house. "Help! Help! The wolf!" And then she heard Grandmamma, "Little Red Riding Hood, come to the wardrobe! I'm in the wardrobe!" So she ran towards the wardrobe and knocked on the door, and quick as she could, Grandmamma opened the door and let Little Red Riding Hood in and closed the door, and they hid. And the wolf started to bang on the door of the wardrobe. "Let me in, I want to eat you." "No, no, go away," cried Little Red Riding Hood and Grandmamma. "Help, help." Luckily, nearby there was a hunter, and he had a big gun for catching animals to make supper. And he ran towards the house and he saw the wolf. "Get away from the wardrobe," he cried, and he shot his rifle. Bang! Bang! And the wolf got scared and the wolf ran away. But he was so fast that he didn't look where he was going. And there was a well. Do you know what a well is? A well is a big hole for fetching water. The wolf fell down the well and he fell into the water and he was trapped and he couldn't get up. And the hunter opened the door to the wardrobe, and Little Red Riding Hood and the Grandmamma were safe, and they lived happily ever after. So remember, whenever Mummy tells you to do something, you have to do it. And don't talk to anybody that you don't know.
Black sheep.
Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane.
Learn the buddy. Hi everyone. Let's see. Our buddy is a very complex machine that we use for many things. Your buddy is made of many parts. Let's see some of the most important ones. For example, we start with our head. We use our head to think about something. Then we have shoulder. We have 1 and 2 shoulders that we use to carry our bag to go to school to study. Then we have a hand that we have 1 and 2 hands. We can use our hands to paint something, to draw, or just to hold things. Then we have the entire arm. Then we have 1 and 2 arms. Our arm, we can use it to play the guitar. Then we have our elbow, 1 and 2 elbows. Normally, we use them to study, right? Sometimes you fell asleep. Then we have our leg. We have 1 and 2 legs, and we use them to run or to play tennis, running, or to play football. Then we have our knee. We have 1 and 2 knees. We use them to bend our legs. And to finish, for example, we have the toes. Our toes, we use them to walk in the street. So, use your body carefully and enjoy your life. Bye-bye!
Rapunzel.
Once upon a time, in a far, far away land, there lived a family. And there was a woman who was pregnant. You know, pregnant. She was carrying a baby. But she didn't feel very well. And she was like, it's hurting me. I have pain. Oh my God. And the husband was like, darling, what can I do for you? Can I help you? I have pain. I need some lettuce from the neighbor. You mean from the witch? You know, the witch? Awful nose, ears, long nails. From the awful witch who lives over there, who is our neighbor? Oh, yes, I have a lot of pain. I need lettuce. Oh my God. So the husband decided to be brave, and he went very slowly, without making any noise. He climbed the wall, the big, big wall, and he jumped. And very, very carefully, he grabbed 1 big lettuce and another big lettuce. And he went to his wife. And his wife ate them. And she was like, oh, yes, better. It feels better, but, oh, darling, I need more lettuce. I need more lettuce. And the husband thought, I am brave. I haven't seen the evil bad witch. So I will go again and I will pick some lettuce. So carefully, very, very carefully, without making any noise, he climbed the wall and jumped over it. And he got 1 lettuce. And he got another lettuce. But suddenly he felt a hand on his shoulder. Long, bony fingers with long, long nails and a big, ugly nose. And he turned round and it was the evil witch. And she said, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh, I came to look for some lettuce for my wife because she's ill. And what do you want? Oh, I just wanted some lettuce. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. And the witch thought, I won't kill you, but with 1 condition. Oh, what? What condition? What? When you have the baby, if it's a boy, I don't want it. But if it's a girl, I want the girl, and you will give me the girl. The husband was so frightened that he said, yes, of course, it will be for you, of course. And he went back to his home quickly. So one day, the mother had the baby, and it was a beautiful, beautiful baby. A beautiful, beautiful baby. But it was a girl. And the witch arrived. Of course, she said that she would come if it was a girl. And she said, give me the baby. Give me the baby. So they had to give her the baby. And she took it. And she went away. And that baby grew into a beautiful young lady. Really, really beautiful. And she had very, very, very long hair. Very, very long. And her name was Rapunzel. It's not a normal name, but a witch doesn't give you normal names.
So her name was Rapunzel. And she lived in a big, big tower. So big and so long that it could touch the clouds. And it didn't have any doors. It just had a teeny tiny little window where Rapunzel could only see a little bit of the world, not much. So every time that the witch wanted to see Rapunzel, she would say, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw me your hair." So Rapunzel had 2 plaits. You know, plaits? What you do with your hair? And she had 2 plaits. One on this side and the other one on this side. 2 big, long plaits. So Rapunzel threw her plaits through the window. And the evil witch climbed on the plaits. Up she went. And it was like clock, oh, clock, 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 clock. Ooh, that hurt, because the witch was very heavy. And up she came. And every time she wanted to see Rapunzel, she would do the same thing. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw me your plaits." And she would throw her plaits, and the evil witch would climb up. But one day, a young, handsome prince heard a beautiful voice. It was Rapunzel singing a song like la 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 la. Rapunzel had such a beautiful voice. La 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 la. And the prince thought, what a beautiful voice. And he saw such a beautiful girl with such long, beautiful hair. And he wanted to go and see her, but there was the witch. So he had to hide. And he listened to the witch. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw me your hair." So Rapunzel threw her hair. And click, 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 click. So went the witch up through the window. And the prince thought, okay, I will do the same thing when the witch goes away. So the witch went away, and the handsome young prince went, but with his beautiful young prince's voice, of course. He said, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw me your hair." So Rapunzel threw her hair, and click, 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 click. It wasn't so painful, because the prince was much, much lighter than the evil fat witch. So he went up, and Rapunzel had never seen such a beautiful prince in her life. And she fell in love. You know, in love. And they were so in love that the prince said, "I will take you away to my castle, because I'm a prince. So I will come later, and I will bring you with me, and we will go and get married." And Rapunzel was so happy. Finally she would be happy, and finally she would marry and be happy forever. So the prince went away. But the prince wasn't very quick. He was very slow, and time was ticking, tick-tock, tick-tock, because he had to find his castle, he had to find the ladder to go up the tower. So he took a very long time. And the evil witch came back. And she was like, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw me your hair." So Rapunzel threw her hair. And clock, 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 clock. She thought, the prince, this is not the prince, because the prince isn't so fat. And it was the evil witch. But the evil witch looked at Rapunzel's eyes. She looked very deeply. And she saw that Rapunzel was in love. You know, in love. And she saw that Rapunzel had met a beautiful, handsome young prince. She saw all this. And she got very angry. She was very angry. So, you know what she did? She got some scissors and she cut Rapunzel's plaits completely. So the prince came back and he said, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw me your hair." But it wasn't Rapunzel. It was the evil witch who had the plaits and threw them down. And the poor prince, clock, 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 went up. But he didn't see Rapunzel's beautiful face. He saw the evil, awful, terrible witch. And she did an awful thing. She did such an awful, terrible, abysmal thing. She took the scissors and she put them inside the prince's eyes, and he fell and he was blind. You know, blind? Blind means that he couldn't see anymore. He couldn't see anything at all. So, after this sad story, the poor prince walked everywhere and everywhere, looking for Rapunzel. He was walking and walking and walking everywhere. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, where are you, my darling? Where are you? But one day, one beautiful, shiny, sunny day, he found Rapunzel, and Rapunzel was so happy to see the prince, although he was blind. But Rapunzel was so happy to see him that she cried. You know, little drops of water. She cried, and those drops fell on the prince's eyes, and magic! He suddenly opened his eyes, and he could see again. And they were so happy that they returned to the castle, they married, and they were happy forever after. I hope you liked it.